so tight. My jeans, maybe I'm miserable. Maybe I'm miserable. In my jeans. Oh, I'm so confused. I don't know what to do. I don't even know if I'm aroused by you. 'Cause my jeans, they're tight. They're so damn tight.
Well, we're back here on Music Buzz Live Radio. Always loving the tour, the basement, right? The World Viral TV studio. We've got Phil from Nematode Records in the house. First of all, we're going to get into your comic book project you're releasing and some of the records in a minute, but let's get the background on you and Nematode Records and how this all got started.
Right on. Well, we started a record label back in 2012. We were making music that, for a while the digital release was just the thing to do. Pretty Lights got huge just by putting out all this music for free. So we're like, yeah, let's get on that. We'll play shows, we'll make money that way. And after a while, we kind of got tired of that, and we're like, well, we want to do something physical again. But CDs kind of suck. So we started making records. We made 7-inch records, and we put out about 5. And one of those was those Shadow People, which we're getting ready to do another installment of that. But
and is that a band, or is that that's the comic book project?
It's actually both, which I realize that might be confusing, or it's a little weird, but that's the idea, is that the band was called Those Shadow People. The comic is called Those Shadow People, and they do have connections, but for the most part it's kind of abstract. But basically Nematode Records, it kind of took a little slump in 2014, but we're headed back up in 2015 to come out with more stuff. Cool. Hopefully our first full-length record, because we've only done 7-inch records for a while. So that's basically it. We wanted to make records. We also do screen printing, so all of our records have like a custom screen printed cover. So if you get a record, every single one of them has a cover that we made with our own hands, like in our little screen printing studio.
That's cool.
That's way out. That's kind of like a modern Death Clock. Is that Death Clock, that does that? With the
Metalocalypse.
Yeah, Metalocalypse. Yeah, dude. But it's even like a cooler. That's what I was thinking when you're saying that, because you got a whole character base in the comic book.
Totally.
So do these characters play the music then?
Well, that was the original idea, and I mean, I can just go ahead and I can go let you know where it all came from. Was the Gorillas. When they first came out, I thought, wow, that is so cool. What a great idea. You got characters, they're playing the music. Well, I got inspired by that, and I started working toward that, and immediately my friends and stuff were like, no, no, you can't do that. Like, that's the Gorillas. You can't just make a cartoon band. And I was like, okay, fair enough. I get it, Yeah. So I started thinking about it. We had developed all these characters that you can see especially the new one that I brought with me. It has a really good display of all the characters. And the idea was they were kind of based on people that did play the music. So, like the guys in the band, and female guys and girls in the band were, basically reinterpreted as characters. And then
it's like larger than life versions of themselves.
Yeah, it's like very weird, cool. Like shadow versions of ourselves. Like basically our imaginations came to life, and that's what we would be in another place.
That's awesome.
I thought originally that they would play music, and like I said, everybody was like, "Dude, don't do that. That's not a good idea." So then, the characters had to take a life of their own. So you can see some on the screen now. There's a whole myriad of characters.
And this is the new comic book that you're about to drop, right?
Indeed. Yeah, this is going to come out on April 28th in conjunction with, there's a thing kind of like, you maybe about Record Store Day. They kind of do that the first something of every, is it April?
It is coming up, right?
It is coming up. I know I thought it was mid-spring, like April, May, somewhere in there. I'm pretty sure it's April.
So the idea is they want to drive people to the record store. Comic books, they're doing the same thing. They have a free comic book day. They just say, come to the store, comic books, for
cool.
free. So I wanted to do something for that. So this comic book, our release, since music typically comes out on a Tuesday, our music will be April 28th. You can get the comic book then, you can get it digitally, but we're also going to be just putting it all around Denver in the record shops, in the comic book shops.
Right.
Just hopefully, kids that want to read comics and people that enjoy comics pick it up and enjoy what we're doing. But
that's awesome.
That's the new one coming soon.
That's exciting.
So like Atomic Comics, and is there specific comic shops or?
I'm a big fan of Mile High Comics.
Okay.
I mean, that's where I go to pick up mine. I'm not going to specifically endorse anybody. I'm not trying to make any enemies.
Yeah, right.
I love all the comic book shops for the record. So sure, Atomic Records. I'm doing my rounds right now. I've only been to Mile High, but I'm going to hit as many as I can. In a Dream on Colfax is another favorite. But I mean, hell, if you're open and you're selling comic books, props for keeping it alive.
Is that some southern twang coming out of your voice there?
Sure. Yeah,
Right.
I'm from Tennessee originally.
Nice.
That's where Memphis, Tennessee is where I grew up.
So you know some good barbecue.
Yeah, the South
definitely.
has the best barbecue.
Memphis is especially a capital for barbecue.
Hell yeah.
Love Memphis.
You got these 7 inches too, right, man? These guys here. Is that what that is?
Yeah, that is a 7-inch. That's the first project. That's what kind of started this whole thing.
And when did this whole thing start?
The record label started in early 2012. We did our first record for a band called Fresh Hats Type Beats. It's kind of a electronic instrumental thing. Shortly after, we had another band called The Biz that's it kind of fell apart. But in the interim, while we weren't making music as The Biz, we were writing songs that didn't fit The Biz's sound. So in 2012, in September, we took a lot of those songs and we made Those Shadow People. And so that's when the first one came out. And the idea was just to kind of make a product that was really unique, because vinyl collectors and comic book collectors, they're like two different breeds of the same kind of person. Like they love stuff, they love collecting, and we thought, well, why wouldn't you put these two things together?
Yeah,
Very
totally.
smart.
Yeah, so when you read the comic and you listen to the CD or the vinyl together, does it coincide? Like, does it bring the story more to life?
Is there like a Wizard of Oz, Pink Floyd thing going on?
A little bit, and actually I have to admit it wasn't intentional, but some of my best comic book homies, I'll call them, AJ Ara, if you're out there and you're watching, he is actually the one that told me about when he got the product. He took it home, he put the record on, he read it, and he said it lined up perfectly, that he could read the whole comic and listen to the music, and it ended like right on time. And I was like, dude, if I could do that by design, that would be amazing.
It was meant to happen.
But yeah,
all that hard work.
It seems like it should be able to happen, though.
I mean, that's kind of the goal.
Going forward.
I think it
That's really
depends on how
awesome.
fast you read.
Yeah.
Yeah, it definitely does. If you're a skimmer, then you're probably going to finish the comic first. But I mean, the first one does. The second one, we decided, like, there was so much music. We have probably 20 songs in total for this group that we're still trying to find ways to put out. So there's more music this time around than comics. So I don't think you're going to have the same experience with this next one. We call it a zero issue, because it's kind of like extra material, extra story.
But that kind of makes it more special. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Having that music coincide, the 0 issue.
Yeah.
For sure.
It's because it's got a nice ring to it too. So.
And the lyrics are basically, they're kind of like little Easter eggs from the story. Like the story is going to be more explicit as far as telling you what's happening and actually telling a linear story.
Right.
The music is going to basically be like your little extras. Like if you love Marvel movies and you wait till the end of the credits.
Yeah, see, I'm a Marvel comic person.
There you go.
Even though X-Men movies, suck.
Explicit.
I'll still go by and watch them. So
Oh, yeah. You can't miss it.
So is there
I just watched one the other
Is there
night.
like a specific character that you relate to? Because I'm interested in this comic part, and those characters looked really cool.
Yeah.
Well, originally my character was, I was inspired. We had a term when we were in our studio. We didn't have a light, like maybe you guys have a light to say we're recording. Well, we had kind of a small-time studio at the time, and we would light a black candle. And that was our way of telling everybody, like, don't talk, don't open the door, don't do anything. And I kind of took that idea on as my persona. I was Black Candle. So Black Candle actually originally was not, the idea wasn't the same as what he is now. He's basically the big bad guy now. And I don't really want to be the big bad guy so much.
You don't look like a big bad guy.
Yeah, no, probably not.
Is that on here?
That was my character. He's in the
that the one in the
background,
back?
Black Candle. And then
Big one.
Yeah.
and then the pointy titties down here. I have to give a shout out to Cyril Brown because he loves titties. It's just like one of his things. Like Just so you know, she doesn't always have that, but that was his style. That's basically the analog for me in the comics. I mean, because it's the same age, kind of the same family, but you know, it's loose. It's a loose connection. You know.
Okay, you know what this reminds me of is because I'm a huge Tom DeLonge fan, despite all the drama that's currently going on with him. But so his band Angels and Airwaves just released this album called The Dreamwalker that also came with like a 15-minute long animated movie and also a comic book.
Nice.
And also a blank notebook that apparently you're supposed to write down your dreams in.
I like that. That's a great idea.
Yeah, it's kind of weird.
That's a big variety pack, man.
You know, like I buy everything he does, you know, it's like, and so I bought like the box set and it came with all this shit, you know, like a notebook. So I put it next to my bed because I'm a dork like that, and I don't know that I've written like one sentence in it, I think, in the last few months, but
That's pretty cool. It almost feels like you should have a bottle of Foria and a condom to come along with that pack, dude.
I know.
You know what I mean? There it is, right there.
So where can we find this stuff? Let's go over again. It comes out April 28th. Is that what we said?
That's it, yeah, April 28th, just a few days before Free Comic Book Day, so Denver people can hit the comic book shops, but for the rest of the world, you can go to our website, which is just nematoderecords.com. It is going to be just a name your price download. We just kind of, if you want it, go get it. If you like it enough to donate something, please do. Because it's not a record, you know, we can afford to do that. We just kind of want to get it out there this time because it's been almost 3 years.
Yeah.
So yeah, go get it if you want it. Download it at nematoderecords.com. It'll also go on iTunes and all that good stuff as well.
Okay.
We have one other little thing is that if people do want to donate to the purchase of the package, you'll get the digital comic, you'll get the digital music, but if you donate $5 or more, for the first 100 people that want to do that, we're going to send you a little package. We got some goodies, like kind of like you were talking about Tom's thing, is that we got some little buttons that we're going to send out. We got some trading cards of all the characters, which is really cool. And we have a printed version of the comic that you can get as well. So basically, all those things are available if you feel like donating. That is a steal. It's so little. I should have gave it to Chris in there. But, you know.
There we go. Chris Thomas to the rescue.
Nice.
There it is.
So yeah, and this is a steal of a deal. I can go ahead and tell you the cost on all this stuff was definitely, you know, I'm not making any money off of it. Yeah,
sure, yeah.
So if anything, we're just trying to, you know, pay it forward, make some money back toward our next one, because we do want to make some more records this year, and hopefully this is just our own little version of a Kickstarter or something like that.
That's cool.
So, yeah, nematoderecords.com. Go check
cool
it out.
little gift.
So one more question, real quick. Is nematode, is that like a comic book term or something that comic book people know about that I don't know about?
No, actually, I think it's a term most people don't know about. I'll give credit to my buddy Tim, who is, you can see his name, Tim Santos. He kind of came up with that when we first decided to make a record label. We're like, well, what do we call it? And there's, of course, 1,000 names, and every name is taken is the worst thing. You can think of.
Yeah, it's the same thing with bands.
Yeah, exactly. Yep. So nematode was just one of those things that wasn't taken, so that was a major plus. But then the second thing was that nematodes are basically like these tiny little microscopic creatures. They're on everything. So we just kind of, it's like amoeba records or something like that. I mean, it's just this idea that
hey,
you kind of, they're everywhere.
You already got some nematode on you, dude. You might as well go get that shit.
Yeah, exactly.
All right. Well, Phil, thank you so much for joining us, man. Again, check out nematoderecords.com and pick up this new comic book April 28th, just before Free Comic Book Day. We are going to be back with our trademark Motel Minute and hashtag, or God damn it, hack it or axe it.
Hashtag hack it or axe it. Hashtag Motel Minute.
See, I confused myself with like I made a hashtag and then I just instinctively said the word hashtag in the middle of the sentence.
Awesome.
But anyway, Motel Minute and hack it or axe it coming up. This is Music Buzz Live Radio. Stick around. All right. Well, you guys seem like you're pretty pumped up. What's the typical reaction to a Hell's Bells show? What's the crowd like? Yeah. Nice. This is good. We're in for a hell of a night tonight, aren't we? Well, that was beautiful. Congrats, Ben, and thank you, Scenesters, so much.
Wednesdays, 6 to 8 p.m., World Viral TV presents Music Buzz Live Radio! The real underground is here on World Viral TV.